Welcome back to YouTube classes. It's Divya here with class 11 physics. Now, today in our class, we are going to start with chapter 8 uniform circular motion. Okay, now let us see what is circular motion and what is uniform circular motion. The motion of a body along a circular path is known as circular motion, and this motion along a circular path with constant speed you call it as a uniform circular motion. Now, non-uniform circular motion, you can define it as the motion of an object in a circular path where the speed is not constant. Where the speed is not constant, you call it as non-uniform circular motion. Now, this is what is circular motion and what is uniform and non-uniform circular motion. Now let us see some variables or some terms related to circular motion. Now first one is angular displacement. Angular displacement is the angle subtended by the position vector at the center of a circular path. We have already seen about the position vector, everything in your chapter vector, isn't it? So whatever is the angle subtended by a position vector at the center of an, that is if center O is going to be the center of the circle, then whatever is the angle subtended or the position subtended by angle, or from, if this is from the A to B, from moving from A to B, whatever is the angle subtended by this position vector R from the center of a radius, you call it as the angular displacement. Now angular displacement, usually it is denoted by theta, or for small angular displacement you can write it as delta theta will be equal to delta S by R, or you can also write it as d theta will be equal to ds by R. So this is the angle or equation for your angular displacement, where ds is going to be the linear displacement and r is the radius of your given circle. Okay, now when you talk about the unit of angular displacement, it is measured in radian. Radian, you are going to represent it as RAD. Okay, this is the symbol for radian. Now the next one is angular velocity. See, what is normal velocity? Normal velocity, you are going to define it as displacement, rate of change of displacement, isn't it? So angular velocity will be rate of change of angular displacement. And then got it? So angular velocity is the rate of change of angular displacement, or you can say that the rate of angular displacement undergone by a particle performing uniform circular motion. You can call it as an angular velocity. Angular velocity unit is going to be radian per second. Now, angular velocity you are going to denote it with the letter omega. It is not W. You will read it as omega. Omega will be given by rate of change of angular displacement, that is d theta by dt, or delta theta by delta t. Okay, what about the dimensional formula of angular velocity that you have already learned it in your dimensional analysis? Time inverse T inverse. So this is all about angular velocity. Now if you are going to, if suppose in one complete revolution, if you are going to take angular velocity omega in terms of time period, you are having in the equation omega will be equal to 2 pi n, or 2 in terms of time period you can write it as 2 pi upon time period t. So this is equation for omega in terms of time period, and if the particle is going to make n number of revolution in 1 second, then it will be omega is equal to 2 pi into n. Already earlier you have learned what is linear velocity. Now you have learned what is angular velocity. Now let us see a relationship between angular velocity and linear velocity. Now for that you are having angular displacement equation. Delta theta will be equal to delta s upon r, isn't it? Now, what you're going to do? You're going to divide both the sides by delta t. When you divide both the sides by delta t, it will be delta theta upon delta t will be equal to delta s by r into delta t. Both the sides you have multiplied it with a delta t. Now, if this time interval delta t is going to be infinitesimally small, that is delta t tends to 0, then how will you apply the limits? Limit delta t tend to 0, delta theta upon delta t will be equal to 1 by r into limit delta t tends to 0, delta s upon delta t, isn't it? So this is what you're going to get. Now, but this limit delta t tends to 0, delta theta upon delta t, this is your angular velocity, or this is the equation or change in time or rate of change of delta theta. What is delta theta? That is the angular displacement with time is none other than your omega, isn't it? So left hand side you can put it as omega, and in your right hand side you are having limit delta t tends to 0, delta s by delta t, that is angular, sorry, it is not angular displacement, it is linear displacement, s by t, that is your normal velocity v. So you can write it as omega is equal to 1 by r into v, or omega is equal to v upon r. This is the equation 4, or relation between your angular velocity and linear velocity. Now from this equation, whatever is the great, this is directly, that is the greater the distance of the particle from the center, greater will be the linear velocity, isn't it? Or if you write an equation for linear velocity from here, it will be omega into r, that is linear velocity is directly proportional to r. R is the distance radius, or the distance from the center. So greater the radius from the center, greater will be the linear velocity. Now if you are having like this in terms of vector form, how will you write equation for linear velocity? In terms of vector form, v is equal to omega cross r. Okay, so you are going to write it in terms of vector form, relation between angular velocity and linear velocity. You are going to write it as v is equal to omega cross r. Now next what you are going to have is your angular acceleration. What is normal acceleration? Rate of change of velocity is angular, so normal acceleration. So similarly, angular acceleration will be rate of change of angular velocity will be angular acceleration. Unit will be radian per second square, isn't it? So this is what is angular acceleration. Now angular acceleration you are going to denote it with the letter alpha. Okay, angular acceleration you are going to denote it with the letter alpha. Now alpha will be equal to omega upon t, or d alpha will be equal to d omega by dt. What about linear acceleration? We are going to denote it as E. A is equal to velocity upon time, or change in velocity upon time, isn't it? Now if you are going to relate angular acceleration with omega, you are having the equations that we will see in the next class. Okay. So this is only the basic about what is circular motion, what is uniform circular motion, and some variables related to your uniform circular motion. Now in the next class we will go on to the next topic, that is we'll start with the centripetal forces and centripetal acceleration. Before that, make sure these basic variable terms are clear to you. Read your textbook properly, and if you have any doubt you can put it in the comment box. Now till we see in the next class with a new topic, stay safe, take care, bye bye, thank you.